Hello and welcome to the next episode of Gear City Let's Play. At the end of the last episode, we had just finished designing up our new gearbox engine, the two-stroke inline 3. Still not overly happy with it, to be honest. I don't know what it is. Clearly doing something wrong, because, well, look, here is our first iteration thereof. Now, everything stayed pretty much the same throughout. It's a little bit bigger in capacity, but that's simply because I couldn't get the sliders to work out. It weighs 3 kilos more. It's the same size. Now it gets 6 more miles to the gallon. It's going to require a little bit more manufacturing skill, but our power is pretty good. It's 22 as opposed to 17. Our fuel economy is 42 as opposed to 27. Our reliability is not as good as it was, but improved over our first engine. And our overall rating has gone up to 33. Now here's the problem. To get that, I'm going to have to spend $67 per unit to get an increase of 5. So, bit tough there. I think we'll stick with that to start with and see how we go. So let's jump back across. Now we've got 5 mil in the bank. It's 1904, 1.4 in cash, and everything seems to be going, fairly solidly. Our luxury sedan is doing well. It's making us a lot of money because we've got a huge markup at the moment on that vehicle. We're not planning to sell heaps of them, but we're selling enough actually to turn a really tidy profit. Now, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the reports. We're going to generate a report, and we're going to add this one. Now this is the production cost, production revenue, and profits. So we're going to save this as model cost profit. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, we'll need to wait till next turn to have a look at that. Anyway, so I was just reading on the forums, and the lovely dev Eric pointed out that I can actually find the everything in one report, so that's going to be brilliant moving forward. 300 grand. Back the truck up. Wow, good sales right there. So we're in a good spot right now. Let's have a look at this report that we created. So there we go. Except it gets cut off, which is unfortunate. But there we go. So we can have a look at the production cost, total sales, and then the profits. So the Model Awesome, the Model Zero Awesome is doing a great job. The luxury, 5,000. I reckon that might be. It's like 101. So if I was to get my calculator out, I could figure out, what the percentage profit is on each of these things, and it would tell a really good story. Now then, what we're going to do is we need to bring out some iterations. We're in a good spot monetarily, so what we'll do is I've had a thought about the way we're going to think about this game. I'm going to think in like the ridiculous long term. I'm going to see how it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to design a chassis called the Chassis 2, because I've already got the Chassis 0 and the Chassis 1. Now Chassis 1 is going to be an interim upgrade to all of our cars. We're going to just throw this in everything as it comes up for redesign. This, however, we're going to approach this in a different way. What we're going to do is we're going to play around with all these different sliders, and instead of setting them all to 0, we're going to set them all to 100. We're going to design the best chassis we can, and we're going to see how that works out for us. So all of these things, it's going to increase the cost, increase the design time, which is okay because we're only going to make it in one car, and we're going to put it in the luxury sedan to start with, and see how that goes. Now let us apply $394 unit cost, which that's not bad actually. We might be able to get away with that in a super luxury sedan. Now then, what we're going to do is we're going to stretch out the wheelbase to about 3.2 meters, I reckon. The width we'll keep it at that. We're going to beef up the height a bit, really hug the corners. So you can see down here, really strong design. Let's see how this changes things. Okay, so yeah, that just makes it, a little bit. It can hold a bigger engine basically, which means that long term, this is going to be able to fit, a V8 or anything like that in it. Now, the weight. Okay, so that increases it. We'll do that. Strength, that increases it as well. There we go. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. This is going to be a really good design. Hopefully, over the long term, whilst it will, the ratings will come down. I think that's going to just be a natural thing, and hopefully, by having this design in production for, 5 to 7 years before it's thrown into a high production model, it'll actually offset the cost a little bit and work out better, rather than say in 5 to 7 years time we design another chassis with similar ratings. The unit cost, I'm assuming it's going to be roughly the same at $473, but if we have already been manufacturing this chassis for say 5 to 7 years, that production cost should have come down to say $550, which means we're going to save $20 a unit. That's the theory anyway. I'm not sure how the game works, so trial and error build. So now we've got this this second chassis queued up. It's going to take 8 months to build, which will be fine. After we get that built, we'll update our luxury sedan pretty much straight away, I reckon. So comfort, performance, dependability, overall rating 61. So pretty expensive, but high requirements in manufacturing because of the technology involved, and the other requirements that were basically pumped into it. So next thing, we're going to do a straight four-stroke naturally aspirated. And we're going to call this the 4-stroke inline 4 naturally aspirated, and it's the first iteration thereof. So it's the 4i4 engine. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing as before, and we're going to play around with all these sliders and really try and crank this engine up to 11 to get the most out of it. Now we're going to increase or decrease the weight as much as we can. Now the size of this engine is pretty reasonable at the moment. We'll come back to that after we've cranked all these up. I reckon it's just quicker to do it this way rather than trying to do it through that menu there. $700 unit cost, nearly $800, $900. Ooh, heavy engine. Now the displacement is a 1.6 litre. So we're going to bump that up to say a 2.4? 2.5? Yeah, let's go for a 2.5 litre engine. And what we'll do is, let's have a look and see what this does. Oh, it just decreases the manufacturing requirements, which is quite nice. I'll do the same thing here. And that's not the highest tech solution we could have, but it'll do the job for us. Now, I'll send this to build. I might actually cut that episode, or this episode, short now, and I'll see you in the next one.